Hi everyone, welcome to the first ever video game playing episode of A History of Japan. My name is Justin Aber, I am the host. It's good to have you all here watching. I thought about doing this as a stream, but the thing about streaming is that the game you're playing needs to be, from what I've seen anyway, it helps if the game is exciting and fast-paced and there's things happening. A lot of this game is very slow-paced. It's a lot of thinking, so I decided to do videos instead, and that way I can kind of cut and edit the parts where I'm sitting here being like, what should I do? And that way you guys aren't just bored watching me do nothing. So, this video game is Shogun Total War 2. Or it's a Total War Shogun 2. They've mixed up the order of the words for some reason. But it's the second in the Shogun Total War series. And I have started a new game here where I am playing as none other than the Oda clan. You may recall that the Oda clan, of course, the leader of the Oda clan being Nobunaga, was the one who achieved kind of the first initial steps toward broader unification in Japan. And so, yeah, the starting year of this game is 1545, so it's quite a bit before Nobunaga comes along, because the idea of the game is you're supposed to take control of a clan, and like any good historical game, it's kind of a what if. What if this clan had done better than they did in history? Can you teach them to do better? And of course, like any game like this, it has its shortcomings. I mean, there's a lot of what drove history in this period was the behind the scenes retainer stuff, and the game does not frankly do that kind of thing very well. But if it did, I mean, there are other games that focus more on that. This one is definitely focused. Obviously, it's Total War, so it's focused on the fighting. So anyway, the first thing we have here is a mission: the unification of the Oda. Contending with the rivals around us. You can read that if you like. But we need to crush the rebellion in the following province, which of course is Owari, the only province we have and the home province of the actual Oda clan. Here's our reward. 25% wealth generated by buildings across all provinces for 4 seasons if we defeat the rebels. So, I'm going to stop that right now. So without further ado, let's crush these rebels. See who we've got. We've got Takayama Muneyori, who's one of the retainers, and then we have Oda Nobuhide, who, is hopefully you'll recall, is actually the father of Oda Nobunaga. But of course, here he is being the daimyo of the Oda clan. So here's the rebel army. We've got a little rebellion crisis on our hands. And it looks like they've got cavalry. They've got some Yari Ashigaru, which are, of course, the spear Ashigaru. I've got a couple of Yari Ashigaru and Yari Samurai, which are lower in number. As you can see, it's only 120 versus 150. But they're much higher quality troops, as you might be able to see from the stats here. The stats are quite a bit better. They also have a special ability. We'll get to that when we start battling. I also have Bow Ashigaru, archers. So, anyway, let's push the space bar. Secret to these games, if you push the space bar, it makes the movement go much faster. Just make sure, if you're playing a Total War game and you have the space bar pressed to double the speed, just make sure you know where you're going, because it's much less forgiving of mistakes. So, let's go fight these guys. Now, I like that it does this. It's got, here's your forces, here's the enemy forces. Are you sure you want to fight? Do you want to actually retreat? You want to be careful, though, about retreating too often once you've engaged in fighting, because if you do that too much, then this guy will get like a, just like we talked about retreat, I forget his Japanese moniker, but retreating Sakuma. You'll get traits like that. So, as you can see here, the strength of our force is way bigger than the strength of his force. So, yeah, I'm confident this will be fine. Let's go ahead and fight on the battlefield. You may have noticed that there was the option there to auto-resolve. I will admit that during Total War games, especially when I'm kind of ready for the campaign to be over, in the past that I've kind of started just doing big armies against little ones and just auto-resolving every time. If you can do that, but this is kind of the meat of the game, is the commanding armies and combat and things like that. So you are kind of missing out if you do that too much. I will say the pacing of this game is a bit better than it was with like Rome, Total War, and things like that. In those games, when I've done the long campaign, really by the end, I'm just like, okay, let's just get it done. I'm ready to be done with this. This one, I don't feel that way quite as often. Okay, weather is dry, no adverse effects. Let's fight. Okay, good. Sometimes they try to have the daimyo or the general give a speech before the battle. While I think that made sense with like Rome Total War, daimyos didn't really, well, and generals didn't really give a lot of speeches that I recall. I'm happy to be wrong about that, but as far as I can recall from Japanese history, there was not a lot of speech giving in the daimyos. I am placing, as you can see, I can deploy within the yellow border here, so I am trying to get my troops onto higher ground. Because there are tactical advantages to fighting on high ground in this style of warfare. It's actually one of the ironies of history that for a long time, for centuries and millennia, it was very advantageous in general to fight from high ground onto low ground. It's in The Art of War. He talks about it. Sun Tzu talks about the importance of grabbing high defensible ground if you can, that gives you a big advantage. But of course, later on, in more modern times, when you have things to consider like artillery and just being able to target troops and things like that, high ground is not the advantage that it used to be, and it really hasn't been for quite a while. But for our purposes, it's still pretty advantageous. Who is that? Is that these guys? Sorry, I'm looking up here and seeing there's a... Oh, no, I have a straggler. Oh, right, my archers. That's actually who the main group that I want to be up here. I always try to deploy my archers in loose formation, and I like... you can put them in skirmish mode if you like. Skirmish mode means that if foot troops approach them, they'll retreat on their own. You don't have to worry about them. You can do that if you want. I find that if they have protection like this, if they've got all these, spearmen in front of them, there's really no need. And in fact, it only disrupts things, because then the spearmen come and they fight these guys, and then the archers suddenly, instead of, keeping up their fire, they're suddenly retreating. So, okay, we're on good high ground, very defensible. We are facing a smaller troop. You may recall from history that in this period, smaller groups certainly faced off against larger groups, and sometimes even beat them if they were aggressive and if they could gain the element of surprise. Of course, there's not going to be any surprise in this case, and I'm actually going to move my troops forward just because I can, and because I think I don't want... There's low ground here that I can probably fire on, so I want to move them up. Let's move these guys here. Move these guys here. I have spears on the flanks, and I'm going to move these guys here into the trees. That will kind of make them hidden, but it's more to protect them from arrows. Move the general up. Oh, and right, I have... Where is he? Okay. Oda Nobuhide, I just want to make sure he's not in any danger, but I think he's okay. Oh, he's over there. Okay, there he is. Okay, I'm gonna move him here just so that he's out of danger, and just in case. And these guys are forming up. In this game, because I'm the one attacking, I have to drive them off the field. I cannot sit back and wait. If I just sit here and wait and the timer runs out, then I lose. So, which makes sense. Okay. Well, he's moving. I'm not going to wait for him. There's clearly no need. Now you can see these troops have disappeared. I kind of remember where they are. They're like here. So I think probably these trees are going to be a problem for my archers. But I think, oops, nope. Here's good. Forgot to click off of him. I think the best approach is going to be probably from here. Even if this big tree is probably going to get in the way of some arrows. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, well, let's give it a shot. And I'm actually going to change up their formation just a little. I'm going to put them there in kind of blocks. This guy I'm also going to move forward. I keep them on the flanks in case of the cavalry. I know he has a cavalry unit, and if that guy decides to charge, I don't want to be unprepared. And you guys can go here. I think I'm going to move the archers forward, though, once we all get up there. It's a big mistake a lot of people make in this game is just kind of commanding units to go places and forgetting that they do need to work together. Just moving the archers forward would get them killed by the cavalry here. So now, as you can see, the light cavalry is not hidden. Cavalry is a little bit harder to hide in trees in the game.
Our general is in grave danger, my lord.
Oh, shoot. Is he? It's nice I can pause the battle. Oh, okay. Ah, there's the Boashi Guard there. They're a little further down than I thought. Okay, now I'm going to just make sure that these guys... I'm going to put them back here. Yeah, just out of range. They don't need to be... In fact, these guys also I'm going to move here. That's okay. Where's the other... Samurai also should be here. Boashigaru are fine. Where's the other spear unit? Oh, there they are. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll do that. I'll speed it up a little. This is taking a while to get everyone in position. It's kind of boring. Oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, and see, I have fallen victim to a classic blunder. Getting involved in a land war in Asia. Well, we'll see how this plays out. See, that is the hazard, of course, of going at it that way, is that using the speed, you need to be careful and pay attention, and it's been a while since I played this game, I will admit. Now, that being said, it looks like they are getting the better of them. Okay, come on, guys. Okay. Okay, no, I want you guys back here. And I want the bows to go back front. See, I moved the archers forward, and because I had the speed all the way up, the cavalry charged in before I was able to react. I know that there are shortcuts for these speed commands. I've just forgotten them. All right, now we do a little archery duel. How are we doing? Oh, no, I don't want my Yari samurai to get hurt. You guys get back.
My lord, a glorious victory will soon be yours.
Now, this is one of the areas where you need to be careful in the game. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, I told them to stop, so they stopped shooting. You need to be careful if you play this game with archers, because... hey, this way. Because the archers can... they're just going to keep shooting if they're on fire at will. They don't care if, if you've told them to shoot, they're going to shoot. And so you need to make sure that they've stopped shooting before you send these guys out to pursue, because otherwise they'll keep shooting, and they'll deal with shooting your own troops. And especially with heavy... Early in the game, these general bodyguard units are the only heavy cavalry you really have, so you do not want to waste them. You do not want them to just get, killed by arrows. You want to make sure that they're being kept safe. All right, looks like they have chased them out, so now I'm going to direct them to chase these guys down. It's one of the grim realities of warfare in this time period is there really was not a lot of room for, hey, we surrender, there was no Geneva Convention. Done, different time, different, objectively more terrible time. But it's good to remember it's just a video game. Of course, I do not advocate chasing down fleeing troops in real life and murdering them. Just for the record, I guess. Alright, what do they have left? They got a little bit of cavalry and some spearmen. I'm going to avenge the ones that they killed. And I'm going to remember to be more careful in the future. I probably will cut this battle out. I don't think there's a lot of need for you guys to see this. So I'm probably just talking to myself here. Okay, as you can see, it succeeded. We have unified the Oda clan. So we crushed the rebellion, and now we have the special feature, Inspired Endeavors. More wealth generated across by buildings across all provinces for 4 seasons. And our general increased in rank. So we need to come here and see what we should give him. I personally really like the strategist. I've never done a general in playing this game where I've gone the warrior route. Yeah, I guess it's pretty good. Okay, so that last one actually there I see now is pretty good. 15% increase, and that gets bigger. 30% increase to the size of the general's bodyguard. That would be pretty helpful. That being said, I don't risk my generals that often, and I find that being able to move troops over a greater distance faster is usually the way to go. So I'm going to give him 2 in strategist, 20% increase to our campaign movement. And let's see what retainers we have available for him. We have a Naginata Jutsu Master, for if we have Naginata Samurai under our command, and we also have Shimada Kanbei. This is like a veteran, basically. Minus 1% losses in area of attrition, plus 1 command when defending on land. I do like that, I think, a little better than this. Mainly because the plus 1 to command when defending, plus 1 to command benefits all the troops. It doesn't just benefit only the Naginata Samurai, although Naginata Samurai are pretty good, and you do want to get those in the game. So, we've unified the Oda clan. I'm going to try to bring him back to the castle if I can. Yeah, not quite. Okay, that's fine. They're still recuperating. Kind of kicking myself that I let my archers get hurt that bad. They're going to take a few turns to get back up to their proper numbers. But that's the way it goes. I do like that the game makes you wait. There's no way to speed this process up. There's no way to, like in other versions of Total War, Rome Total War, I think you could, you'd retrain the troops, and then the next turn they'd be back up to full strength. There's no way to do that here. You just have to wait. You can build buildings that make it faster, but there's no way to, spur that forward. A few things to consider. We have... we are at maximum capacity for our food we're producing right now. So every bit of grain, every grain of rice we're producing, we're eating. So I think the number one thing, a lot of people, when they first start playing these kind of real-time strategy games, they focus a lot on, well, I'm going to build up my castle, I'm going to build up another dojo, I'm going to do all this stuff. You want to make sure you're keeping an eye on your economy. So let's improve our irrigation. And you do actually want, in this game, you can go to these little areas up here, and you can trade. You put trade ships on these, and you can trade with people. Oh, where is it? There it is. You put it here, and you trade with people, with other peoples, I should say. And that can be a big benefit, because you get resources that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. I like to see it kind of big. All right. I think I'm going to build a coastal village as well. I think this also eventually becomes food too on the coast. I think we should recruit some troops. I like to have at least two groups, what are they called? Units. I like to have at least 2 units of archers. I also like to make sure we have enough foot troops on hand. It's a little early in the game to be doing Yari Samurai. Samurai are great, but they are more expensive, and they cost a lot more per turn as well. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. That's the thing in this game. If you right-click on these things, it opens up the Total War Encyclopedia, which usually works. Doesn't always. There was a game I was playing in it a while back. I remember it got stuck on a page, and I had to reload the whole game in order to get it to work. Roads are pretty good. Increases replenishment rate. Movement speed is increased as well. I don't know that it's necessary right now. So I'm going to train 1 Bo Ashigaru and 1 Yari Ashigaru. And, let's also try to get some trade going. So we've got the Kitabatake clan in neighboring Ise province. They're pretty friendly, and we're already trading with them. Okay, great. The Saito hate us. No surprise there. No love lost. The Tokugawa are not fond of us. The game... this is another area where the game falls short a little bit of the kind of historical ideal, because if you recall from the podcast, the Tokugawa clan was not called Tokugawa until the 1560s. when Ieyasu had his name officially changed by the imperial court. So they would not. This is the Matsudaira clan at this point, just so you know. And of course, the Tokugawa are our immediate neighbors, but a little to the west of them are the Imagawa, who are the real enemies. They're allied with the Takeda. Oof. Right, that's right. Tokugawa are not allied. Oh, they're trading. Oh, and they're a vassal. Good, they got that part right. They were a vassal of the Imagawa clan. All right, well, I have nothing to say to any of those clans, so let's skip over that for now. Here you can see the whole clan. You can see the traits we have. Improved morale for Ashigaru and reduced recruitment costs and upkeep for Ashigaru troops. That was a real thing. I mean, the Oda were very good at managing their Ashigaru, and that's a big part of what gave them advantage. The ability to raise very large armies very quickly, which often led to victory. Not always, but under Nobunaga, obviously, very frequently. Yeah, that's what we just got. For now, we're obscure. As you conquer stuff, this thing will fill up with yellow, with gold, and the Emperor might start noticing you, and the Shogunate, as it were, might start noticing you. All right, and here we have the Mastery of the Arts. This is another system I was thinking of earlier, and I was thinking, I would have changed this. It's kind of a question of what works for the game versus, the realities of history. All right, so let's see. I know that there's a special kind of Ashigaru that we can get as the Oda clan, and I want to get those as soon as possible. So to get that, we need to upgrade our castle, and then we need to build an encampment. As you can see, it shows you. I do like it shows you pretty handily here. You need an encampment. You don't have an encampment. If you had one, you could recruit these guys. So we can't build an encampment until we upgrade the castle. We do have the money to do that this turn, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and go for it because they both take 3 turns. You need to keep an eye on that if you play this game. You need to make sure if you're constructing more farms for more food and you're at net 0 food like I am now, you need to make sure that when the farm is going to complete either before or on the same turn as the building that's consuming food. So, yeah, okay, so I want to get those. Right, sorry, I'm going to go back here. There's a requirement to build the encampment, though. Where is it? Nope. Here it is. Oh boy, that's going to take a while. 12 turns to do that. I might build another building in the meantime, and that's okay. But I think I'm going to go with that. So you can see we got Bushido, we got the Way of Chi. This is obviously the economic and cultural side. You got small wrestling. And over here you've got the more warrior-based stuff. Yeah, if I were... the different clans in this game have different strengths. They usually have one kind of unit or one sort of thing that they do better than everyone else, which is roughly accurate. The Takeda have better cavalry. I mean, those were realities at the time. Okay, and in order to do this, I need strategy of defense. Was that gonna... Oh, and I'll be able to build. Okay. That's actually a pretty good way to go, because I do actually want to upgrade that dojo when I can. I'd like to be able to get some Naginata. All right, let's end the turn. See what happens. Oh boy. Shoot. I should have recruited.
Down the enemy before
yeah, okay, I know. Sorry, I know about Ashigaru. Okay, Masters of Sword Jutsu. Oh, perfect. I'm already training for spear things, I think, right? Way of the Spear. Where's the Way of the Spear? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, okay, I'll get to that. Where is that? If you lose track of your missions, they're right here. Current missions. No time limit. Okay, good, because I'm not gonna... Oh boy. Well, that's not good. All right, all hands on deck for this one, guys. Wish I had time to wait for these guys to replenish. I don't know that I've ever had the Tokugawa attack me right away like this. The algorithm that governs the AI in this game, I mean, I'll say that for it. It is somewhat unpredictable. Make sure I got all my messages. Yes. Yeah, okay, well, I'm going to save. They've brought 2 general units as well. But as you can see, I do have more archers than they do, and I think that's going to make all the difference. As you can see, our forces are a little stronger than theirs. I like that the game has this little thing here. If I had forgotten to save before I charged out to fight them, I could quick save now. I already saved, though, so I'm not going to worry about that now. Let's fight. It's raining, so because I'm attacking, I can control when the battle begins. And as you can see, the effects of rain, gunpowder weapons are slow to reload. We don't have any gunpowder weapons, but archers may not use flaming arrows, and it's more difficult to ignite ships. Okay, units take longer to recover from fatigue. I do think that, it doesn't mention it specifically here, but I do think there is a disadvantage with archery in the rain anyway. And since that's the main way I'm trying to gain dominance in this battle, is through superior archery. No, I did not mean to do that. Okay. So I reloaded. Obviously, now it's dry. I would have waited until it was dry. I just pushed the wrong button. So I promise to focus more in the future. Let's start deployment. He's going to give a speech. Again, I don't think a lot of this really happened. I think a lot of it was really... The individual unit commanders may have given speeches. Okay, I'm going to skip that. They're also just not very good speeches. They're just like, I want you to kill those guys over there. And I was like, yeah, sure. You know, like that's the plan, man. I wasn't planning on being nice to him. All right, looking over the terrain here. I like being able to tilt the camera down like that. I find it a little helpful. Okay. Oh no, that's the border. Okay. So they're going to be in this rectangle here, which is great. My guess would be they're probably going to try to grab this hill here. So I think I'm going to deploy on this side as well, and I think we'll just deploy in columns. So we can rapidly get onto the field. I'm going to put them a little bit back just so that they don't... what I don't want is for the archers to overmarch the spears. I'm going to put these guys behind the hill so that they are safe. Yeah, because again, we're initiating the attack here, so I'm getting them ready to move. Okay. Oh, even better. Maybe we can grab the hill. Okay. Pausing. Something that I forgot in the last battle is, this is my usual way of doing this actually, is pausing the game and then giving the orders for where people should go. Let's see what they got here. There's the archers there. There's the archers right there. And they got their Yari Samurai and Ashigaru here, and there's of course Hirotara, the general. So, I am going to... I would venture that they're probably not going to let me march this way unchallenged. So let's try... where are we? Let's try marching just down here. Those two. I'm going to keep these guys safe, so I'm going to have them be like there. I'm going to have this Yari Samurai be here. Good strong troop to protect. I'm going to have the generals go right there behind. Okay. If you hold down the space bar on the campaign map like this, you can see it shows you the arrows. I always like to do that just to make sure, does everyone have somewhere they're going? And they all do, so we're going to go fast, but I'm going to keep my finger hovered. I remembered it's Control T that controls, that kind of cycles up and down through here. All right. Oh, yep, they are moving, so let's pause, actually. It looks like they're trying to take that hill. Yeah. Okay, let's play normal speed then for just a minute. If they form up here, I think I'm going to try and take the hill there and rain fire down on them from there. Not actual fire, but, you know, arrows and whatnot. Okay, well, we're pausing because I like to give the orders and then deploy. Have them march up there. I'm keeping them in columns for now. Columns move a little faster, and it's also a little bit less vulnerable. It's probably a habit I picked up playing Empire Total War, which is a very different game, which is a game that I think a lot of the traditional Total War fans didn't like very much, but I actually like it quite a bit. Okay, we're going to play. I almost pushed I almost pushed fast forward just now, but I want to make sure I do this nice and slow, that I'm ready to respond to the enemy's threats. Now, this is another place, of course, where history meets the road here. actual battles between even groups of this size, you'd have to have runners taking orders between the different groups and stuff. And this sort of instantaneous communication and obviously the ability to pause a battle and be like, well, actually, I want to do this. That's clearly not something you'd have in reality. But again, it does help with the game because I think it fills that gap. Like an actual battle wouldn't be able to take place usually in like half an hour like this. So, okay, they're moving again, but I think they are just kind of... Oh, where are they going? That's interesting. Now they're going away from the hill. They see what I'm doing. Okay, pause. Hey, pause. All right. Oh, I forgot to put these guys in loose formation. I like loose formation not just because it makes them less vulnerable to enemy arrows, but because where are the cavalry? The cavalry over here? I think the danger is in the right flank here, so I'm going to put the Yari Samurai on the right. And we'll put the generals kind of toward the left. I don't want the generals to be too close because you don't want a stray arrow catching your general, you know. Yeah, they're seeking cover in the trees. I'm going to risk a little more speed here. Oh. Are they taking the hill that I just abandoned? Ugh. Fine. Okay, pause. That means we need to chase them. Okay. You guys get right up in here. You guys go here. I want you guys... Yeah, I still want them on the right to protect in case of a charge. And I'll have these guys here. There we go. Oh, no, pause. Okay. See, their cavalry's way over here now, which is a huge mistake, because I'm gonna make them pay for it. Actually, let's have these guys back a little ways, and then we'll have these guys form up right here. And you guys can be here, or back here, a little farther back. Yari Samurai can be here. Get him in position. You can see when they're spread out like this, it also broadens the arcs of fire. So they're able to shoot kind of from two sides. Okay, and that archery duel is over. Okay. I probably will not have the archers front anymore. They are routing, so I'm going to go ahead and start moving this way. I'm going to spread them out a little more. And then let's have this guy over here. Not quite like that, more like here. And we'll have him go here. I'm going to have, since I have the luxury of these two generals, I'm going to actually have this one start chasing them down. I'm going to put it in fast, but I'm going to... Oh, no, there we go. They're coming forward, so... We actually need to... Oh, what are you doing? Okay. I've got them isolated anyway, so I'm going to do this. Or maybe more like this. Sorry if I'm hissing. Move these guys here. They don't have any other range. I've isolated their ranged weapons, so that's good. And this guy can go here. I don't want them to be in range. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. Gonna have him chase them down while these guys face off. Oh, nope, actually, just go a little forward. There they are. Have him chase them down real quick. That way their archers are now out of the picture. You'd be surprised. I will say this for this particular moment. You'd be surprised how often this kind of thing did actually happen in Japanese battles. A platoon or a unit gets separated from the main body, and that's all she wrote. Okay, they are marching down, so I'm normal. Well, I'm gonna speed it up a little. They take a while. Okay. He's calling for an all charge. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna have these guys form a Yari wall, which is their little special ability. If he wants to charge through, because see, now I see that his cavalry is moving, and I think what he's gonna either do is have his Yari Ashigaru face off against mine and try to flank around the side, in which case the Yari Samurai will get him. Or he's going to possibly... A tactic that a lot of Japanese heavy cavalry actually used was just charging straight into the Yari Ashigaru type wall and just trying to punch through with just sheer brute strength. And that worked quite a bit of times, actually. You know, in the game it doesn't because, again, they're focused on it being a fun game to play and it being interesting and all that. But in actual history, yeah, that was a very common sort of occurrence.
My lord, their general has fallen.
Awesome.
A cutting blow.
Ooh. Okay, that could be a problem for me. Well, let's do over here. Oh no. Okay. Now he's isolated. I didn't want to charge him in here because I don't want, what I don't want is for my cavalry to face off against his spears here. Alright. Well, this is looking great. Why are we not? There we go. And again, of course, I don't condone this kind of thing in real life, but this is a video game, and if you don't chase these guys down, then they just keep fighting for your enemy, you know? So over time, it makes sense. It's a grim logic, but it is logic. Sometimes I'll break them off early if they... I'm watching here to see when is he stopping his movement, because as soon as he does, I want to keep him going. You know, chasing down other stragglers. Where's the straggler here? Oh, there they are. Oh, perfect. They're not gonna make it. You guys live to possibly fight another day. Right, I do like this little summary sort of information here. It shows, you know, here's who you lost, here's how many you lost, here's how many remaining. Obviously, I did a lot better than the Tokugawa, who only have 8 people who survived. Yeah, actually, not too terrible. The Ashigaru, I mean, the Ashigaru have big numbers, but they do die a lot. You know, again, just a historical reality, they were the expendable troops. So, with that settled, let's close this and watch our enemy die. Well, I very well might have to follow this up with a campaign against the Tokugawa, whom I'm already, I guess, at war with. Oh yeah, I'm at war with the Saito, the Tokugawa, and the Imagawa. Well, that makes sense. I do need to be careful because the Saito are up there, so I probably want to recruit. I don't want to just charge in. It's tempting to think, well, you know, I just defeated their big army. I need to charge in and finish the job. They may have another army. I honestly don't know what their capabilities are. I have no intelligence on them. So let's just move him back, and we also need these troops to recover. I'm going to recruit some more troops, though, because I do want to follow up this campaign. Let's get another bow and another spear. Should I do 2 spears, maybe? Yeah, let's do 2 spears. Why not? And construction's moving along. I might build roads at some point. How long do they take? 2 turns? Another thing is you have to time when you go into provinces, because when it's winter, if you're in a different province, you'll suffer from attrition. Your men will die because they're not in their home area with a clear supply line. So keep that in mind if you lay siege. That's what this game does, punish you for laying siege, and I will say that's something it does a little better than a lot of previous iterations of the Total War series. Okay, well, we have defended our province. We have set ourselves on a good path. I think probably my next step will be taking on the Tokugawa in Mikawa province, and then either continuing the campaign against the Imagawa down here. Sorry, make that bigger. So I'm going to go after the Tokugawa here. I might continue conquering the lands of the Imagawa, depending on how that goes. I would like to take Mino province as well. The Saito have been eerily quiet. They may already be engaged in battle with like the Hattori or someone else. We'll see what happens. All right, so this is a lot of fun. And while this episode is publicly available on Patreon, the next one, the follow-up to this, will be patrons only. And I plan to do at least 2 of these a month. Maybe some months I'll do more, depending on how much people like it, and depending, you know, if other people come on board as patrons. So tell your friends. This is Justin Hebert, and I'll see you guys next time.